Once, in a small Scottish fishing town called Helensburgh, there lived a curious boy named John Logie Baird. John wasn't like other children. While they were outside flying kites or skipping stones, John was inside his house, tinkering with scraps of wires, buttons, lenses, and bits of old machines he had scavenged from wherever he could. His house seemed to buzz with excitement. Even the family cat stayed far away, worried it might get tangled in John's latest invention. One rainy afternoon, as droplets trickled down his window, John stared out at the gray sky and wondered, wouldn't it be incredible if we could see things far away without leaving this room? His imagination was endless, but for now he settled on a simpler task, building a telephone that could connect to the neighbor's house. Hours turned to days, days turned to weeks, and soon John's creation worked. The neighbor could hear John through his homemade invention, even though nobody believed he could pull it off. John thought, what other things have people never seen but should? Years passed, and John's curiosity grew ever larger, just like his inventions. His friends and neighbors often shook their heads and smiled at his peculiar ways. That boy, they said, thinks he can make the impossible happen. But for John, impossible wasn't scary. It wasn't even real. He believed every problem was a puzzle, and every puzzle had a solution. By the time John became an adult, he couldn't stop thinking about one special dream, making moving pictures travel through the air. Pictures that could jump from one place to another. People thought this idea was nonsense. How could pictures move through thin air? They teased. Moving pictures belong in the cinema, not flying about. But John didn't mind. He rolled up his sleeves, gathered some bicycle lamps, old suitcases, knitting needles, and a few scavenged parts, things most people thought were junk, and started experimenting in his tiny apartment. One day, after months of trial and error, hours of hard work, and a few explosions that nearly sent his neighbors packing, John's invention came to life. On the screen of his strange machine, he saw a simple image, a flickering silhouette of a human face. His heart raced. He had done it! It's working, he whispered, hardly believing his own eyes. He grabbed his notebook and excitedly scribbled his discovery, a machine he would call the television. John Logie Baird didn't stop there. He showed his invention to the world, demonstrating it in stores, studios, and even royal palaces. People who had once laughed at him now called him brilliant. Thanks to his persistence, his patience, and a little imagination, televisions began appearing in homes everywhere, changing the way people shared stories, news, and adventures. So next time you sit down in front of a TV, remember John Logie Baird, the boy who dreamed of the impossible and made it possible. Because sometimes, with enough curiosity and determination, even the wildest ideas can come to life.